now. But I'm going to wait a minute or two. Maybe I'll just readjust my thing here while I'm doing that. Adjusting. I've got a little Lego stand for my, whatever you call this, tablet. I'm not a big fan of tablets. There's too many. The operating systems are really annoying. You don't have any control over them. They update stuff all the time. It's always like downloading things. Oh, hold on. Yeah, what's up?
Are you doing a live right now?
Yeah, but there's no one here.
Yeah, just give them, like, it usually takes 5 minutes or so for the notification to go out when you do a new one that's not scheduled. What is your, well, later, will you send me your login information?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, now there's 2 people paying attention, so I should talk to them and say hi.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say what I was going to ask you, which is why I asked you if you were live first.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna go talk to some people here, and later I'm gonna come and strangle you if that's all right.
Oh no, please don't come strangle me. Oh, speaking of, I think there was actually a question. There was like 2 questions that were posted in videos recently. One of them was, "Hey Jaimie, so do you still have your solar dozer?"
Okay, now I'm really gonna strangle you. Shut up and go away, Starlink.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right. So how's the oh, shut up, walkie-talkie. How's the signal on this now? Yeah, I'm glad everything's okay too. Sort of. I mean, not totally okay. I'm kind of annoyed. I gotta put some Lego pieces under my thing and tilt it up a little more so my head's actually in view. Oh, how's that? Pretty good, eh? I gotta move over and get myself centered. Hey, Tomaters is here too. Cool. I'm glad you're doing good. All right. So for anyone who missed it, I attempted to start a live like, I don't know, half an hour ago now. And half an hour before that, Deshana was here and all the kids were here and everyone. And Deshana put the kids in her boat and went to her house. And now we have a thing where anytime one of us goes from one of our houses to the other house, we radio the other person as soon as we get there. And I had to like yell at Deshana for like 6 months to get her to do this. And, you know, once I finally got her to do it, it's very consistent. Like when someone leaves the house, you arrive at the other house, you radio, "Hey, I'm here, everything's good." Okay, great. Okay, and that's it. And then we know communications are out because we have to have like all like open communications all the time. Like I have the walkie-talkie here. It doesn't mean we talk all the time, but I need to know that if she needs something, she can radio me at any point in time, which she does at like 5:30 in the morning all the time, which is like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm awake." And I'm just like, can you shut up, man? But anyway, still I leave it on because I think it's more important to have the radio communication all the time, just in case there's a problem. Now, this is particularly important when someone has a boat full of kids. So I tell her, anytime you have a boat full of kids, you have to let me know when you get there, because I know how long it takes to get from here to there. And that way, if she doesn't radio me within, you know, a reasonable amount of time, then I know I have to get out in my boat and go search for them or whatever. So this morning, she left. And half an hour goes by, and I'm like, I mean, this is like, even if she was like dawdling, going really slow, half an hour is way longer than it takes to get there. She should have radioed me by now. So I radio her, "Hey, if the radio is broken, but you can hear this, you know, send me a message on, you know, any of the internet things. My thing is on." Nothing. So finally I got in my boat and went and found her, and she was just like visiting a friend. And we have a thing where if you have all the kids and you're not going straight home, you have to tell the other person. Because as I was saying, we have to know, like, it's really important to have radio communications. Since we live on different islands and we have this pile of kids, and if she's out in the water and some storm comes up or the little motor on her boat breaks or something goes wrong, I know she's not strong enough to swim with her and all 4 kids to shore. 2 of the kids can swim, they'd probably be all right, but she can't swim with the other 2. She's like I need to know that she's either gotten there or she needs my help. And just to be fair, I always radio in as soon as I get back, even if I leave her house with no kids and I'm just by myself, like what's gonna go wrong, right? But still, I always radio when I get here. Hey, I'm here. Everything's good. Okay, great. You know, because I want to be fair. And so this has been a very consistent, reliable thing. When someone leaves the house, we go to the other house. The person radios. I'm here. Everything's good. Okay, great. All the kids are alive. Great. Okay, yeah, right. So today is the first time I'm doing a live without her, and she was mildly annoyed about that, but I was like, dude, I just need a break. I just needed to Shane a break, you know? And it's just like, you know, today is the day. It's just a coincidence that she just happens to leave and just not radio me. And so in case anyone's wondering why Deshana, like how Deshana and I don't get along, like it's just stuff like this all the time. It's like, and then she's like, oh, I didn't realize. But it's like always at the, you know, when someone always does stuff coincidentally at the most like inconvenient pain in the butt time, it's like at some point you're just like, okay, this isn't just coincidence. You're either consciously doing this or you're subconsciously got some hatred toward me and you're just, so that was frustrating. I was going to talk about totally different stuff than this today, but that's what I'm talking about now because that just happened. So anyway, oh God, that was frustrating. Oh, it's so frustrating. You know, when you have someone in your life who just like wants to self-sabotage anything that they're in control of. So I always have to not let her be in control of anything because she just keeps self-sabotaging everything. So I think I have to like actually fire her now and just totally do all my own YouTube uploads and everything like I was doing before. I would love it. Oh, what a toxic dude. Shut up. I would love it if I could rely on her for more things. But anyway. All right, what are people talking about here besides what a toxic dude? All right, Deshana. She's here too. Yes, Deshana has been a bad girl. All right, I accept your apologies, Deshana. Everything is fine. I'm just... yeah, just frustrating, you know. Anyway, everyone's okay and everything's fine. And yes, make sure you, since Deshana's here watching this, make sure you radio me all the time. And if you're not going straight home, let me know. There, see? Karina understands that I'm preoccupied with the safety of my children, and that's important. Okay. Does she need a spanking? No, but you might need a spanking. If I was gonna do something to you know punish her, I would have to do something she doesn't like. Come on, man. I mean, I might as well give her like a chocolate milkshake. That's spanking. Like, anyway. I'm not into that whole punishment thing though. I like to deal with people in a more reasonable way, like understanding, like you have to let me know because it's important for the safety of our children. There's a full moon rising over the horizon right now. It's huge, it's red, and it's beautiful. Just wanted to share this with you. It would be, wait, full moon rising over the horizon. How would there be a full moon rising? The sun just came. There cannot be a full moon rising right now. You must be in a different part of the world. Cool. I'm glad that's happening where you are. Definitely not happening here, though. Okay, someone has a question. Can you make like a prop jet ski for super fast trips? It would be pretty light. Yeah, I mean, I could. But... you know, it's like we could spend tons of energy making all kinds of safety nets in case something goes wrong, or we can just be responsible, think ahead, plan well, you know, do that kind of stuff. And that's one of the things you kind of have to do if you're living an off-grid kind of lifestyle where we're not totally on our own or anything, but we're not in a place where there's just all these conveniences around that we can just say, oh no, it's emergency, here's $500, do everything. We're in a place where we have to rely on ourselves, so it's really important to plan ahead and be reliable. See, this is why it bothered me so much, is because it is so important for our family safety. And Deshana understands this, and she apologized, and everything's fine. Don't worry. I'm not gonna actually strangle her. I'll just tell her I want to strangle her. But it is super important to be very reliable and plan ahead and do all the things we need to do in this kind of lifestyle. And I think that's much more important than having like emergency equipment, that we're probably never going to use. The thing is, if I had, I don't know, I guess I could make some electric jet ski that would be a super fast thing that would get us to where we need to go in some emergency situation or whatever. But then, like, what if it's an emergency where I need to take too many people to fit on the jet ski? It's not safe, or there's a storm and the jet ski is not big enough to handle the storm, or the emergency equipment I've prepared just isn't the right thing. It's like I can try to prepare for any emergency, but stuff's always going to come up. There's always going to be stuff that comes up that you can't plan for, even if you plan really, really well. So, I mean, it's just being ultra reliable and dependable and planning ahead and having like safety procedures and stuff like that you follow. That's super important. I think it's more important than having emergency, oh no, we screwed up equipment. He was thinking more along the lines that it would be a super cool project. No, I don't. So the point of my channel isn't just to do cool projects and fun things. Like, I'm actually showing a lifestyle, like an alternative way of living that's different than, just kind of the standard thing. And I think that's an important thing to show, because a lot of people, I would say the great majority of people, have very little freedom in their lives and know they have very little freedom in their lives and are frustrated about it. And sometimes people don't even consciously think about it, but they're just like, taking antidepressants and stuff, and they don't understand why. And it's just like they have no control over their lives because we're being smothered all the time. Like when you live in cities and stuff, you have no freedom. You have to ask permission to do anything. And I think it's much more important that to show a different lifestyle where you can have more freedom. Now, having more freedom is a double-edged sword, as they say, because, like I was just talking about, having the freedom means you have the freedom to succeed, but you also have the freedom to fail. So it is dangerous. Like, it's more dangerous to have freedom than have no freedom. Like, if you're in a prison locked in a cell, it's a pretty safe place. Or even if you just lock yourself in your house, if you're agoraphobic, wait, is that what it's called when you're afraid to go outside? Yeah, whatever it is. People who just lock themselves in their house, they make their own prison. It's safe. You're not going to get hurt or anything. The only problem is you end up just stagnating and getting weaker, and then it ends up not being safe, because then you end up dying of not taking care of yourself, like heart attacks or stuff like that. But I think much more important than doing cool projects is doing cool projects that have to do with my lifestyle and are important things. That's not to say I'm never going to do cool projects, like if I build giant robots and stuff like that. I don't really need to build giant robots, but I need to build giant robots, even if they're not really going to. Well, it would be useful if zombies came along and stuff. It'd be preparation for. Anyway, you know what I mean. But yeah, if I'm gonna do something that's like a for fun thing, it's got to be way cooler than a jet ski. Jet skis already exist. It's got to be like this guy's saying get an insurance policy for a worst case scenario. Insurance is. I'd rather just keep a bit of money set aside that I can never touch, and that's like the emergency fund. Because, with an insurance company, you never know if they're going to pay for whatever. Oh, thank you, Shadowmancer. I love that I dropped everything to check on her and the kids, too. I know I was pretty annoyed and irritated about it, but yes, I care about my family a lot. And yeah, if I ever think they're in trouble, it is drop everything and go time, That's not the only time. If ever a friend calls me and says, hey, I need you, I'm just like, what do you need? Where do I need to be? What do you need? Yeah. Okay, get a cheap aluminum boat with a reliable Evinrude strictly for emergency use. Nah, I don't want to do that. Because, part of the reason, if I got a gas boat for emergency use and then it sat there for 6.5 years, I never used it because, I'm never going to use it. It's for emergencies, and I'm not going to start just driving it around because it's convenient, because then I'm going to get sucked into the gasoline world. And right now, I'm totally off gasoline, except I have one chainsaw that I use with gasoline occasionally. But other than that, I'm totally off gasoline, and I like that. I like being off gasoline. I don't want to get back into that dependence. And I don't know. All right, did you consider soap instead of styrofoam for your recent Styrocrete project, is what it's supposed to say. This is a minor typo. I did consider bubbly soap, the foamcrete. There's a few reasons I chose Styrocrete over foamcrete. One is that I've spoken with some people who've used the foamcrete, and they say it shrinks a lot and it's kind of brittle, and I was thinking, well, maybe it's brittle because it needs more time to harden and stuff. Maybe it's probably not that bad. But there were some problems with it. And the other part was a few years ago, before I started building the cathedral that I'm in right now, I was finding all the styrofoam in the ocean. Every time I come across a chunk of styrofoam in the ocean, I'd pick it up, put it on my boat, and then when I got to land, I'd put it in this pile, and I had this big pile of styrofoam. And I was like, I need to figure out something to do with it. I can't just keep taking it out of the ocean and just piling it up. It's going to end up falling back in the ocean. So this making Styrocrete just seemed like the perfect thing to do with it. It takes that disposable, one-use, horrible thing that never goes away, that just sits in the landfill forever until it floats away into the ocean, and turns it into a long-term building material. So I just thought that was a really, really good use for it. Because anytime you can take garbage and turn it into something useful, that's a beautiful thing. Because so much of the world right now is just full speed, turn good resources into garbage, turn good resources into garbage, turn everything into garbage. The whole economy runs on that. People, all the companies are making things as disposable as possible, so that you have to keep buying more and more and more, because that means they make more money. But that also means we're just making unbelievable mountains of garbage, just stupidly, for no good reason other than profits. So anytime I can take something and send it back the other way from garbage to something useful, I prioritize that. That's a really great thing. So that's why I went with the Styrocrete instead of the foamcrete. Now, you could also do, people have mentioned this on here a few times. You could mix the styrofoam bits with some foam concrete, which would also totally work. I just didn't do that because, I don't know, the Styrocrete works pretty well without foaming up the concrete, so I didn't feel like it was necessary. All right, let's see. Oh, I just put my hand in front of the thing, didn't I? Yeah, when I was scrolling. Okay, let's see. Did I miss any questions? If I missed a question that someone asked, please just repeat it, because I'm not trying to ignore you. Insano says, I have a 9-to-5 and feel like a slave. I can't quit. Most of my energy goes into my job. Yes, I know that. I know what that's like, man. Because I grew up in a city. I grew up in the suburbs, and then I went to an Ivy League school, which is just the dumbest thing I could have done. I had no idea. I mean, they said, "Ooh, this is an Ivy League school. It's best of the best. Top tier, top shelf, baby. Go for it. You got in. Yeah, you do it, man. You do it up. You're gonna be all set up." And oh God, the further I went down that path, it was like the more chains got attached to me, and the more doors closed, and the more it was like, "This is your path. You must do this. Do not do anything else." And yeah, when I finally got out of that, oh, it was like the doors just open up and all the walls disappeared. And when I was getting out of that, people are like, "Are you out of your mind? Do you know what you're giving up? Do you know how much people would give to be in your position right now? You've got like the best position in the entire prison, And I'm just like, yeah, but it's in the prison. And I don't want to be in the prison. Of course, they didn't say, you've got the best position in the prison, because they don't think about it that way. But yeah, once the happiest day of my life up to that point was the day I quit my job. Oh my God, that was so amazing. Oh, I had a business with this lady. It was an art moving business, and this lady was like, I think the term for it would be like a feminazi. Like, she was super feminist, lesbian, hated men. And that didn't like we got along well at the beginning, but then just because I'm a man, just everything started piling up, and she just started getting more and more angry just about nothing, And then at the end of a year, when I'd saved a bunch of money to buy some land, and she had saved no money because she had always spent it, she was so angry. And I was like, I think this is the perfect time to quit. So I did one extra last job for free, because I knew I wasn't going to get paid for it, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't owe her anything, just so I could make a clean break. But I quit that job, put everything I owned in my car, drove up to this land I bought in Vermont, walked up into the woods. It was a mile up into the woods, and it was just like, breaking out of that prison and just having fresh air and like waking up the next morning. Oh, it was unbelievable. Like, it's the kind of thing I dreamed of, but then actually being there, it was like, I don't know, it's just better. It's like the difference between watching a movie and being in it, like doing it for real. It was like everything was so vivid. Like, waking up in this tent. It was just this little tent I had, and all my stuff was just kind of thrown in there, and the rest of my stuff was just stuffed into my car, and I was just out in the woods. And I was like, I don't know, it was so amazing just to have that freedom to wake up and be like, okay, now I do what I think I should do. Oh, it's so good. And yeah, man, if you can get out of, I'm putting my thumb in front of the camera again. Yeah, if you can get out of that prison camp, oh, it's totally worth it. So, if there's any way you can save money and get out of there, dude, come here. I'll help you. Like, I'm not going to help you too much, but I will help you. A new guy just came recently. This is one of the things I was going to talk about before everything got derailed a little. But a new guy's just come like 2 weeks ago. He's been in here for about 2 weeks, and set up a temporary house for him on one of my islands. He's paying me a bit of money for it, and he's using one of my boats. And sometimes people ask what I'm doing with some of my older boats. So this new guy, let's just call him Reginald. That's not really his name, but Reginald's using it. And so he's using this old canoe that I made. I made videos of it years and years ago. It was just a plain old canoe with a flat back, so you could put a motor on it. But Reginald, I'm going to start calling that in real life. Reginald wanted to put a motor on the canoe, which is it's a pretty small. It's a normal size canoe, but it's a canoe, and it's very light. So putting a motor on it is just like. And it's, makes it super tippy and everything. So, I told him, okay, I'll make an outrigger for it. An outrigger is like a pontoon sticking out the side. And I was like, how am I going to do that? I gotta find something. But then I remembered years ago when I was making the zombie chopper, my little white boat, the fast one. it's a trimaran, so it has the main hull and it has 2 pontoons on the sides. Well, my first try for one of the pontoons, I ended up not using it because I was like, well, this isn't bad, but I think it can do better. And then I made the 2 that I have on it. But I still had like the main part of that pontoon that I'd made years ago. It just didn't have a top. And yeah, other than that, it was in really good shape. So I went over to Deshaina's and pulled it out from under the trampoline and looked at it, and I was like, oh, this is oh, beauty. So, you know, I trimmed it up because I hadn't trimmed the fiberglass or anything since I made it, and, you know, found some other fiberglass stuff that was left over, something else, and riveted stuff on the top. I'll have to get some video of this later, and use some other fiberglass pieces that were, you know, just from other things that I'd taken off of something that I'd stopped using, and made a really nice outrigger and riveted that onto the boat, onto the canoe. And we put his little outboard. It's just a 4 horsepower outboard motor. I told him to get a little one because like a 15 horsepower on that little canoe, man, that thing would be like shooting up into the air. So I was like, just get like a 4 horsepower because it's going to go pretty fast. It's a little boat, and, you know, it'll hardly use any gas. So yeah, we got it all put together. We put the motor on it. Oh, it was amazing. Oh, so good. So that's what that canoe's doing now. And I might as well tell you about our first real test. So first we got the motor on the boat, on the canoe. It would have been good if I got video during this whole thing, but the last 2 weeks have just been too hectic and crazy with, you know, getting houses set up and moving my workshop in here to make space to, anyway. So I didn't get any video of this, but I'll get some video of it later. So we got the motor on it and we paddled out into the water, and it took us like 40 minutes to get the stinking motor to start because he was like, well, I don't know exactly how one of these works, but let me see. And he's, you know, kind of doing the normal chainsaw stuff. And he's like, you know, pulling the thing and getting all this stuff. And it's like, wait, maybe you got to turn that. And then wait, oh, it needs the key. Oh, it needs the key. So you got to put the key in this little thing. And that key is a thing that you attach to yourself. So if you fall off the boat, it stops the motor. So if the key's not in there, the motor stops. Oh, okay, so we got to put the key in there. It's still not started. So I'm like, give me an instruction. So I read the instructions, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's a little knob down here on the side that selects the fuel source. And right now it's set to external tank, and you're just using the tank on the top of it. So just turn it. So we turn that, and then, oh, it was amazing. So then, you know, it took us a while to get this stupid motor to going. But once it was going, we only had a liter of gas because that's all we had on him at the time. So we put he had a liter of gas in this motor, and we just drove around. And, well, I mean, first, you know, we followed the 10 minutes of slow idle, everything that's said to do in the book. And then we stayed below, you know, medium throttle and everything. We did stuff the little instructions said. But man, that thing was flying around. It was great. I mean, not like 30 miles an hour or anything, but pretty darn good speed. And then, was it that day or the next day? I think it was that day. He was like, you want to go to town? And I was like now? And he's like, yeah, we still have time to go now. And I was like, oh, the boat's pretty fast. It was 1 PM by that time. And I was like, well, you know, the boat's fast enough. We can get to town and back as long as we don't spend a lot of time in town. So, all right, yeah, let's do it. So he dropped me off over here, and he went to go get his stuff, and I got my bag and a bit of money and met him back at the boat. He took like 40 minutes because there was some kind of dog situation. I don't know. But anyway, so we get back in the boat, and it's like 2 o'clock by the time we actually get going. And we had to stop for gas too because he didn't have any gas. So finally, we left here at like, I don't know, 2:30, 3 o'clock, maybe 2:30 from the gas station. And we're driving to town, and as we're going, there's a headwind. And I'm thinking, boy, this headwind just started. That means it's going to get wavier and wavier as we go, as the waves start picking up from this wind. And, you know, he's driving the boat because I was like, no, you have to drive because you have to know how to navigate there and back. So I'm just going to, you know, tell you where to go, but you have to be the one doing it so you remember how to go and everything, and, you know, figure out how to work the motor and everything. So we're driving, and I'm like, we got a bit of a headwind here. It's going to start getting wavier, but it's going to be within the tolerances of this boat. So it's up to you. If you want to go. If you want to turn back, it's fine. I'm not going to, look down on you or anything. at this point, we'd already been going for like half an hour. She was like, well, let's just keep going. So I was like, all right, let's go. So we're driving along, and we get to like the halfway point. And we round this little corner around a mangrove island, which we'd kind of been behind for a while. So the waves were getting blocked a little. As soon as we get around this thing, the waves are like coming in much, much bigger. And we're like, this little canoe's like, and you know, water's starting to splash into the boat. We're both getting soaked because waves are hitting the thing. We're getting splashed, but everything's still going good. About 3/4 of the way to town, and I should mention that this was his first time driving a boat like this. So he wasn't really going straight. It was kind of like we were adding significant distance because we were going, like, kept veering off and coming back. So it was taking longer than we were kind of hoping to get to town. But about 3/4 of the way there, the waves were getting to a point where we would like ride up a wave and he'd like panic and cut the throttle. And the problem is when you come up a wave, you don't want to stop, because if you stop, then the drag of the wave stops the bottom of the boat, but the inertia of the top of the boat is still going. So what happens is, I just heard some big thing fall outside. I don't know what that is. I hope that was a part of a tree. Definitely was not a coconut. That was a piece of a tree. Whatever, I'll find out later. Didn't hit the house. Anyway, so when you go up a wave, if you cut the throttle, the drag of the wave below the boat will like force the nose of the boat down, and then you end up diving into the next wave, and that's what was happening. Like so it was, you know, it was just his first time driving a boat like this. So he's like kind of overreacting to everything. Ah! So we'd go up a wave, and he'd kill the throttle, and we'd go, and water would come right into the boat. And then I was like, go, go, go. You got to keep going. Go, go, go. Don't cut the throttle. When we hit a wave, go, go, go. Because you got to get up it and kind of dive over to the next wave. So you're not landing in between the waves and the gullies. You got to land on top of the next wave. So, you know, he was starting to kind of get that. And I was like, you know, kind of yelling instructions. Because, you know, the motor's going. It's kind of loud. But he could still hear me if I was yelling. So I'm like, you know, look at the waves coming. It's like a landscape, and there's a path. You know, try to find the calmest path through the waves. Did this just stop? Oh, come on. Oh, all right. Everything's fine. Deshana's logging into something, and it popped up a thing. Anyway, we're you know, bouncing up these waves, and since he's keeping the gas going, we're kind of riding up on top of them. But they got to a point where the waves were coming in enough that he was really starting to panic, and he's bailing out, but he like cut the engine because he was really like, oh, we got to turn back. Oh, English isn't his first language, so he says things a little bit funny. So he's yelling. I'm gonna say the rated G version of this, which is, we are mess up, we are mess up, we are mess up. And he just kept yelling that. And he's trying to bail out. And at that point, he was like just totally panicked. He's like, we are going down. And he'd killed the engine. So at this point, water's coming into the back of the boat, right beside him, and flooding the boat. And he's bailing out. He's yelling at me, get a shovel, bail out. And I'm like, no, if I come toward the back of the boat at all, the back of the boat's going to sink more. And that's where the water's coming in mostly. So I have to stay up here. You got to keep doing it. And he's like, we're mess up, we're mess up. So finally I was like, hit the throttle, go, 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 go. Come on, go, go, go. So he's like, oh, okay. So he cranks up the thing, hits the motor, and he starts, and at that point, we're just kind of like zooming off the tops of all the waves. And once we get going again, then a lot less water is coming in. And I'm like, just keep bailing, keep aiming toward town. You keep bailing out and keep aiming and keep the motor going. And it was kind of hectic and crazy. And there was a lot of yelling, and there was water shooting everywhere. And this part I definitely couldn't have videoed anyway, because it was just too crazy. And I was trying to bail out water in the front just with my hands. We only had one scooper at the time. But about like maybe 10 minutes after that, I look back and he's like, todo bien, no problema. You know, everything's good. And then we made it the rest of the way to town, and the closer we got to town, the more the town land was blocking the waves. So the closer we got, the more the waves died down. So after that point, the waves died down more and more and more. And then we got to town, and he was so frazzled. Like he went to the bank and couldn't remember his PIN number. And then he's like, I don't know what we need to do in town. He was just like so like overloaded. And I mean, he was fine and everything. It took him like an hour to calm down, and everything was fine. But we had to get out of there pretty quick because at that point it was kind of late. And there was another route that we could take that has calmer water, just because there's more protection, but it's a longer route. But by that point, the wind had died down. So I said, all right, let's just take the most direct route because the wind has died down, the waves are going to be down, and it's going to be dark soon. So let's just take the most direct route. And we had a pretty easy ride back. And probably if we hadn't done that really crazy trip on the way there, he would have thought the trip back was kind of crazy because there were a little bit of waves, we were getting splashed, but I mean, we were totally fine. And I think it was a really good experience and learning thing for him to go through that experience of going to town, with some fairly challenging weather conditions, and getting into a position where he was like, oh my God. But the good thing is he panicked, but he kept doing the things he needed to do to get through it. So we got through it. And now he's going to be fine. Like, and I should also mention that I've been through a lot worse than that. I've been in a lot worse situations than that. So I was never at a point where I was like, we're going to sink, we're done. It never got that bad. I would have done something if it got to that point. But yeah, it was a really good experience for him. And I think, by the time we got back, he was so excited. He was like, that was amazing. I can't believe we got through those waves and all that. Like, so excited. So I think he's having a really good time. And, whenever a new person comes to live here, that has come because of me. DeShana and I always have this conversation of, do you think they're going to make it? And I'm pretty sure this guy's going to make it, unless he just decides he wants to do something else. But he seems like he's pretty darn into it, and he can handle stressful situations and do what he needs to do. And yeah, I think he's going to make it. He's going to be good. Okay, let me see. Oh, I had a giant leaning fir tree near my cabin. In the middle of the night during a snowstorm, I heard a crack and fall down with a boom. Yeah, I don't know what that was. It was a pretty big thing that fell outside, right over there. I know there's a palm tree. I'd be surprised if the palm tree fell down, though. Maybe, it could have been like a chunk of coconuts and like a palm frond, like a bunch of stuff fell down at once. It was definitely more than just a coconut. Every man has two lives. Oh, wait. And the second starts when he realizes he has just one. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I would say my real life started the day I moved off grid. Everything before that, I felt like I was just living in a prison, in a slave camp. That's the way I think of most of the world now. It's like you're in a slave camp. And I can't say that I can't claim to be completely out of the slave camp. Like, you can't get away from it. But I'm mostly out, It's sort of like the slave camp is there, and I'm like way out on the outskirts, and the guards are just like, just ignore that guy. He's just let him. But I know at any point in time they could decide, hey, that guy's a problem. Let's go get him, or whatever. So I can't say I'm totally out of the slave camp, but I'm, for the most part, I'm out of the slave camp. I get to have control over my own days and everything. Let's see. Mars is out of the camp. That's what I was about to say, actually. The only way to really get out of the slave camp is to leave the planet. Outer space, another planet. Although I feel like if you're on another planet, the government's going to catch up to you pretty quick. But this might be one of the reasons I like the show Firefly so much. Does everyone know the show Firefly? It's a sci-fi show where there's it's basically just this crew of this spaceship that they basically want freedom. They want They want to live their lives and be out not under the thumb of the government. So they basically just float around in outer space, you know, taking jobs when they can, doing stuff like that. And I can relate to the captain on that show really well, actually. Yes, and the movie Serenity. So Firefly was the TV show. I think like 13 episodes, something like that. And then Serenity is the movie they made after it. And I've watched them all with my kids. There's a little bit of sketchy stuff because one of the characters happens to be a prostitute, but you know, it's not too bad. I still watched it with my kids. I had to give a bit of explanation, but you know. Oh, Will Darling asks, did you ever watch Lex? Yes, I love that show. Although, okay, for anyone who doesn't know this, there's this show called Lex, Lexx, and it's got to be one of the weirder sci-fis out there. So, you know, it's definitely not mainstream, but I'm pretty sure it's got to have some kind of cult following or something. But if you watch Lex, the first 2 seasons are amazing. And then the season 3 and 4, kind of not so great. Although I remember the last episode being pretty good. But yeah, the first 2 seasons are just like, I don't know, it's just really good, like really imaginative and like, yeah, it's like they made this world that's just weird and has all this strange stuff, and they really went for it, and like, yeah, it's a really good show. So okay, let me give you one of the examples in the show Lex, like how it's kind of a, you know, very different world. A lot of their technology is biological, so they don't have just like machines like, you know, like machines we have here. Instead of helicopters, they have these big insects. It's like a giant fly, and you open its eye, which is like a cockpit, and you go sit in, and it's got this squishy little thing you hold onto, and you drive this giant insect around. You know, that you can get in, and it's not a thing with a brain. It's just you drive it around. And the spaceship is called Lex, right? So the spaceship in the show is a giant dragonfly, and I mean giant dragonfly, like the size of a city, like huge, like, you know, like the Starship Enterprise, you know, kind of thing, like a huge dragonfly. And it does actually have some kind of brain. It can talk to you and stuff. And then it's also got like, so it's got biological stuff, but then it's also got a mix of mechanical stuff. So they're like screens kind of built into all these veins and stuff. And the toilets were interesting, actually. But let's all right. Just checking if, okay. Question. Oh yeah, by the way, anyone who has a question, this guy did it. Write question at the beginning so it just stands out, so I notice it more easily. Question, you can make a lot of stuff with Styrocrete. Could your new drawbridge use blocks to make something there the way you made the building, just coating the blocks should protect them? I did think about using Styrocrete to make a bridge. So what he's talking about is on my island, it's actually 2 islands. So right now I'm on the main island in my house. I'll move this slowly enough. Oh, check out my house. Oh wait, I've got this. There's some house over. Look at that roof over there. I love the roof. Oh my God, I love the roof. I can't wait to. That's just scaffolding up there right now. But oh, and there's a lot of stuff all over the place because the last 2 weeks I've been moving stuff in here from somewhere else. But I've got it almost cleaned up. Anyway, so my island is actually 2 islands. I've got the main island that I'm on right now, and then there's another little island, and I'm building a bridge between them. Well, I shouldn't say I'm currently building a bridge. I'm going to build a bridge, and I've been thinking about how to do it. And it's not a huge bridge or anything, maybe like a few meters, 8 to 10 feet-ish, something like that. I want it to be a big enough bridge that I could drive a kayak under it. You know, I don't need to drive a big boat or anything, but it'd be cool if I could drive my kayak under it. And I've been thinking about different ways to do it. One would be to use some aluminum masts that came off a sailboat, and I can make a really nice bridge with that. However, I'm not totally sold on that idea yet. There are some other possibilities, but yeah, Styrocrete kind of, you know, thing is one of them. If I was going to make a Styrocrete bridge, it might be like kind of like Roman archways kind of bridge. Oh man, just wanted to say I've been inspired by your craziness since the first giant robot video. Thanks for sharing. Well, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying. Thank you. Yeah, I love getting messages like that because, you know, I also get messages that, wow, Jaimie, you're actually insane, which, you know, isn't the greatest thing in the world. Although it is kind of compliment coming from the world we have today, because, you know, they say that a sane person in an insane world is always called the insane person. That's, someone said that much better than I just did. Okay, there was a question right here I just missed. Are the dragon scales completed on the roof? No, because for the last 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that, I've been taking care of other people basically. So I have a few people living on my land, and one person, well, I've got a new guy who just came, and I was like, all right, I can set up a, you know, a little house for you, like a dome. And then another person was moving from the dome he's actually now in to another spot, so I had to take my workshop. It was just this musical house situation that basically meant I just had to clean out my workshop of all the tools that I wasn't totally ready to do, but whatever. And then dismantle that whole dome, take it over to the other island. And I've got video of this. I don't think I put it together yet. Anyway, put it back together on the other island and get that person set up. And then I had to, you know, get the outrigger on the boat and get that all set up. And, you know, I've been helping this new guy, you know, kind of get himself set up a little. He bought a bunch of solar panels, and he came with some money, and, you know, bought stuff to set up. And, you know, I helped him move it to where he needed to do. And yeah, I've just been, the last couple of weeks, I've just basically been helping other people do their thing. So I haven't done any work on the roof, although I may do some after this because it's kind of cloudy. And the way I've been doing the roof is, at first I was just trying to get it done as quickly as possible, but, you know, I'd get a sunny day and, hey, did this thing stop? Don't stop, don't stop, keep going. Oh no, did it freeze? Oh, hopefully it's just frozen for me. All right, I'm just gonna keep talking. Even if you can't see my video, hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so at first I was doing the roof tiles as fast as I could, but on a sunny day, they were drying out so fast, they were cracking, and I was just trying to keep them wet and using tons of water, and it was just kind of a huge pain in the butt. So now the way I'm doing it is I'm just working on the roof whenever there's a cloudy day. So yeah, I'm just on the weather schedule. So if I don't get it done for a while, your screen froze, yet still can see you. Froze pick. All right, so that's the froze pick I'm also getting. Now let me see, what can I do here? Oh my gosh. Oh, I think I got it. Ha. Okay. If my thing freezes again, I just have to push the little button to switch the camera to the other camera and then back, and then I guess it resets it or whatever. 5x5, yeah. All right, I'm figuring this dang thing out. You know, I was gonna do this live on my computer originally because I got it to work and my computer has a pretty good camera. But like, you know, I did a couple tests just, you know, not offline, unlisted. But like 5 to 10 minutes in, it would just freeze like that. You know, I couldn't figure out how to get it to unfreeze, but yeah, here I just have to push the switchy camera button, which luckily I just happened to poke and it fixed it. Let's see. What did I miss here? Question, dragon scales. Okay, wouldn't the styro blocks be so buoyant that it would float away if the water level ever goes up? Okay, if I make a bridge with the Styrocrete, it would be, like, the part in the water wouldn't be enough to float the whole thing because there'd be a lot of weight on the top of it. And also, if I was doing a bridge that was going to be under a lot of compression, I'd probably add more sand than usual to make sure there's no airspace, to make it a little more dense. So they might not sink, but they'd be much closer to sinking. So as long as, you know, the top of the bridge is above water, it would definitely have enough weight to hold it down. But yeah, I guess if one day the water rose high enough that it could cover the entire bridge, the whole thing might float, and maybe I just have to tie it up. And as it floats, I could stuff stuff under it to make it have a new level. I'd have to lift the thing up somehow. I'm trying to build things that are high enough above sea level that they'll last like at least 100 years, you know. Like my house is a couple meters above sea level, so it should be fine for a while anyway. Okay, question. How's the retaining wall on your island holding up? I'm thinking about making something similar. Any tips? Okay, the retaining wall is actually on Deshaina's island. Oh man, I put so much work into that. That would be so nice over here. But anyway, yeah, it's holding up great. I don't know. It's a retaining wall that goes around the entire island, and it's maybe 2 meters, like 6 feet tall, like if you're standing on the water side. But then if you're standing on the land, there's just a little bit sticking above the land. So it's a retaining wall that's basically holding 6 feet, 2-ish meters of dirt up. And the retaining wall leans against the dirt. I think that's a really important feature, because if it was just straight up, then the dirt could start pushing it out and it could fall in. But I made it leaning back on the dirt a little bit, so that it's just laying on the dirt basically. So it doesn't have to do much. It doesn't really even have to hold itself up. It's just like laying on the dirt. And since it's just such a big wall all the way around the entire island, it does have some vertical cracks in a few places. Although I'm kind of surprised at how few cracks it has. But anyway, it doesn't really matter that it has a few cracks. They're just, expansion joints or whatever. And since the concrete is laying on the dirt, it's fine. It just stays there and doesn't move. So that retaining wall has been. Oh wait, you might be talking about not the retaining wall for the ocean, the retaining wall behind my house. I bet he just said something. Wait, on your island, hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Anyway, the retaining wall, the seawall at Deshaina's house is also amazing. But the retaining wall back here, you want to go look at it? Can I do that without screwing up the video? Let's try. Oh yeah, come on. Don't mess anything up. Everything's fine. We're just gonna stick out a window here. Can you see that? Hopefully you see the retaining wall. Yeah. So here I've been using some leftover cement to kind of make a nicer finish. But back there it's a little bit, what's the word? It's got a bit of algae and stuff on it. Although it's holding up really well. And again, on that retaining wall, it's at about an angle like that. Somewhere around there. Like it's leaning against the clay. And the clay here is really dense and sticky. Like it holds its shape really well. So even without the retaining wall there, like I could cut a sheer cliff and it'll stay. Not forever. It'll eventually start crumbling off, which was actually a problem during the COVID-19 quarantine when I couldn't work on the wall for 6 months. There was a section of clay that fell in. I had to put it all back up. But anyway, with the wall there, the wall's basically doing nothing. It's just kind of keeping the clay from flaking off and starting to fall off. So yeah, I guess if you're making a retaining wall, a lot of it depends on the dirt you're putting against. If you have dirt that'll basically hold its shape, you don't have to worry about the retaining wall having to do that much, but still lean the retaining wall against the dirt a little. Because if you have it vertical, if it ends up leaning out even a tiny bit, it's going to start falling out. Oh, let me keep my thumb out of the way. Let's see. Let's see. The world is insane. Yes. How's the retaining? Okay, that's where I am. Wow, flex much joking. All right. An aluminum bridge could get hot to walk on during the day. That is true. And I was thinking if I make an aluminum bridge, I will have to paint the top of it white or something because it would get hot. Although where I'm putting the bridge right now, it's mostly in the shade. So it might be all right. Automatic says the world is insane. Yes, it is insane. So when people call me insane, I don't take it as an insult. The archway is what I was thinking. You could plan it all out on paper and build the whole thing with blocks. It would look super cool. You could really do something with it. Yes, that is also what I was thinking about. Like if I make a masonry bridge, which would probably end up being partly Styrocrete. Yeah, it would look super cool, man. I really love masonry stuff. Partly because it lasts so long, and it just looks so good. Like it looks like it's gonna last long. Dude, you are insane, insanely awesome and nonconformist. Oh, that's the best ever. Thanks, man. At first I thought you were nuts, then I realized you are an eccentric genius. Oh, baby, that's great. All right. Don't worry, I won't let it go to my head too much. All right, that's where the video froze, but then we figured out how to fix it by pushing that little button right there. Jaimie thinks way outside of the box, and I'm thankful for that. Cheers. Thanks, man. Yeah, man, getting out, thinking outside of the box is like the only way to get out of the box, you know? It's like when we're born into this slave camp. It's like being in a box, and you got to think out of there before you can actually get out. I'm a farmer right now, only my game, so I have you in the split screen. Wait, right now on my game. I am a farmer right now on my game, so I have you in the split screen. Does that mean you're watching a game or you're doing your stuff? Either way, cool. Let's see, where are we? Question, how would a male-female partnership between adventure builders work if they avoid compromising? Would their paths need to be in sync? Well, that's kind of an interesting question. Well, let me back up a little bit, because I've been thinking about that more lately. You know, a little while ago I mentioned that, you know, I want to try to find a girlfriend and not just be alone all the time. Not that I'm alone, because, you know, I've got my kids and, you know, everything. But, you know, it's you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I've had internet at my house for the last week. So I've been kind of paying attention to the world a little bit. And holy crap, if you think things are like going down the toilet, try not paying attention for like a year or so, and then coming back and then taking a look, and it's like, holy crap, you get to see all the crap happening all at once. And yeah, I kind of freaked out a little bit. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy, but I was just like, what is going on? The world is getting, it's just like the ridiculous amounts of censorship, and like people's freedoms are just being yanked away from them like at an increasing rate. And just like, you know, the price of flour just went from $9 to $15 for the thing. So I started thinking, man, I'm really feeling like I need to get more self-sufficient here faster. I need to, you know, get on that. And I'm growing some food, you know, and I'm doing the stuff, but I gotta really get going. And I was thinking, what I need is someone to help. And that probably means finding a girlfriend who either knows how to farm or is interested in learning how to farm, or, you know, just in whatever way wants to be helpful. And then we can work together on all this stuff. Here's a lizard on the screen right now. It's so cute. I can't show you though, because he's on the thing. Anyway, I feel like I need to find a girlfriend who I can work together with. So this relates to your question about how would a male-female partnership between adventure builders work? Well, if they avoid compromising. Well, if they're both adventure builders, one thing that adventure builders do is they honor each other with their honesty. So if two partners are together and there's ever a disagreement or a problem or anything, you just say it immediately. You just say, oh, I disagree with you, or here's a problem. You don't let it fester. And this is one of the biggest problems I think relationships have, is when people don't say something, they hide something. And you know, in relationships with past girlfriends, this has often been a problem. And I'll go up to them and say, hey, look, what are you not telling me? Because I'll know they're not telling me something. And sometimes I'll even know what it is, but I need them to just admit it so we can talk about it. Because if I just come out and say, you're thinking this, then they'll just deny it and be like, it turns into a big fight. So I'm like, look, if we have a problem, you just have to tell me, just tell me. And, then there's all this defensiveness and lying, and it's like, but two adventure builders together, I think they could solve problems much more easily because they would be more open and honest with each other. At least this is the way I envision it. I've got all these, an adventure builder follows this set of virtues, and as long as you're following them, you should be able to communicate openly and honestly with another adventure builder. Maybe you need your courage and your honesty and your honor and your love, and you need all this stuff to communicate. But whatever if you're an adventure builder, you're following that stuff. So you should be able to communicate and work out whatever problems you have. And I feel like if people communicate well, they should be able to get on the same page. So for example, if I was with someone here, I would say, okay, look, the world has gone bananas. It's going crazy. We can't rely on that. At any point, food prices could go up, or food could just disappear. Like maybe we can't get, like, whatever. We need to rely on ourselves, right? And as long as we can agree on that, then we can just kind of figure out what we need to do to work together to work toward that goal of being more self-sufficient. So I feel like two adventure builders together would totally work. Man, if I need to find an adventure builder, and then I can report back to you. But I feel like it would be an amazing experience. I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna start putting more effort into being more social. And actually, I have started being a little more social. And this is gonna sound ridiculous, but my question is, where are all the women? Oh, fine. Now you're back. How much did I just miss? You guys just missed the little lizard that was on the screen here. He climbed up my arm and then crawled up here and jumped up there, and now he's up there somewhere. Yeah. I totally don't mind lizards in my house because I figure they're going to eat the other bugs, right? I'm sure they're going to poop a little bit too, but whatever. The little lizards are cool. Spiders in my house, though, bam! Ants, bam! Termites, oh my gosh. If there's a termite in my house, I follow them back to their house and I burn that sucker down. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was talking about two adventure builders being in a relationship together. And I've been being more social lately. And I don't know how much I got cut off by the disconnection. But my question is, where are all the women who plan for the future and think about the future and, are responsible and don't just want to spend all the money and stuff like that? I know they exist because I've heard them complaining about their boyfriends or husbands who aren't responsible and spend all the money and everything. Like, where's I can't seem to find that woman. I keep running into women who are like, oh, I just want to play and have fun and, what's it called? Instant gratification. Like this girl I was talking to recently, very, very pretty girl. She was in pretty good shape. And I was like, oh, this girl has potential. And I start talking to her and she's like, oh, well, I really enjoy my fast-paced city life. And she starts explaining how she's just very into all this instant gratification stuff. And I'm just like, that's not useful to me. This is not useful at all. It doesn't matter how pretty you are, or how nice your boobs look. Like, that's of no use to me. And the reason, I'm gonna have to make a separate video about this at some point. The reason instant gratification is so worthless is because you can't achieve anything good with it. Because to achieve anything good, you need to take very deliberate, useful steps, and that takes time. You got to plan. It means you have to take slower steps, but that means every step you take is one you're going to keep. Because instant gratification people, they're always jumping ahead, but then they immediately slide back down because they didn't, prepare the ground or do whatever, and they end up just flailing around doing the same thing for like 30 years and they're in the exact same place they were, and they're like, what, I've been going so fast, doing so much, but I haven't gone anywhere. Meanwhile, the person who's like slowed down and is like, I'm going to take every step and make sure every step I do is very deliberate and is strong and is going to stay and is resilient. 20 years goes by and they've built like a castle, Anyway, I've kind of gone off on that for a while. That retaining wall around the island was almost as epic as the road you built in Vermont. Dude, I am really happy about the retaining wall around that island. That was amazingly difficult. And it totally transformed that island because it's kind of a long, thin island. So with the dirt going like this, it left very little flat space on the top. Most of it was just 45-degree slopes. But then with that wall around the island, it could flatten out the whole thing, and it probably quadrupled or probably more than quadrupled the amount of flat ground on that island. I also really love the retaining wall behind my house here. It makes this really cool alleyway behind my house. And the kids will run around there and stuff and play games, and it's just a really nice spot. And often there's a really strong breeze going through there because the wind kind of gets funneled and it shoots through there. So if you get hot, you can go stand back there. It's really cool. All right, leaning is a must, but having a concave wall like you have behind the cathedral really helps keep the wall in compression. Yes, it also does really, the fact that the wall, is like this means all the pressure is pushing on the entire thing. Whereas if you have a wall like this, the pressure can push it out. That way you have to lean it even more. That retaining wall, let's see. A concrete retaining wall is like an arch on its side. Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, totally. Question, the paint markers list. Oh, have you considered the refillable ones? Oh, I thought that might be good that I wanted to get for you. What do you think? They seem to be, I would love. So are these the permanent markers? Because I put some permanent markers on my Amazon wish list because I've been drawing these pictures of these video game characters, right? Because I'm in my free time, which I haven't had any of lately. But sometimes I have all this free time because, I don't have a girlfriend. So in the evening, it's just like, oh, what do I do? So I've been playing around making this video game. So I've been drawing these video game characters. And I use, first I draw them in pencil, and then I outline them in a permanent marker and then color them in with crayons. And I've gone through a whole permanent marker already. So, but yeah, if there are permanent markers that are refillable, dude, that sounds great. I would love to get some of those. You could certainly create Styrocrete blocks, a few a day, and before long you'd have a pile of blocks big enough to build something. Yes. I mean, I built Styrocrete blocks to make this whole house, this cathedral here. 4-story thing with huge dome. It's all Styrocrete blocks. Not all Styrocrete blocks, but the whole outer skin, the walls, Styrocrete blocks. It's just keep making them. You can make some crazy huge stuff. The last video is very helpful. Thanks. What was my last video? I don't know. Oh, Will, darling, a mirror. Yeah, I was thinking about grabbing a mirror to show the lizard on the screen. But then I realized the mirror is all the way over there, and I'm going to have to... Anyway, I thought I should just not do that. Did you plant your avocados from seed or grafts? I planted my avocados from seeds. And I've planted a lot of different avocados. And, they don't all grow. The ones that have grown the best are from a tree that's nearby. There's this kid... I don't remember his name. I wouldn't want to say his name anyway because I like to respect people's privacy. But there's this local kid who lives not too far away who comes by Deshaina's place every once in a while with empanadas or, some kind of food thing or avocados, or sometimes Deshaina just sends him a message, hey, can you get, do you have any of this or whatever, and he brought us a bunch of avocados. I think it was 50 cents each, and they were huge and delicious. Oh man, they were amazing avocados. So I planted a whole bunch of those seeds, and all of those are growing. They just sprouted and were zoop. probably because they came from this climate and they're like, yeah, they're ready to go, same dirt and everything. So those ones are growing really well, and I'm hoping to get some similar avocados. I don't know exactly how avocado trees work though. Is it like apple trees where you don't get the same kind of apple? Like you plant an apple seed, you don't know what kind of apples you're going to get. It might be like that. Or maybe with avocados, you get the same kind of avocado. I don't know. Hopefully I'll get some pretty good kind of avocados. Although the good thing, like I've planted a lot of apple trees, not here because I don't grow here because it's too warm. But when I was in Vermont, I never found, well, most of the apple trees I found were just ones that had already been growing like out in the forest. But I've never found an apple tree with apples that they didn't like. So people will say like, oh, if you plant an apple tree from a seed, you won't get any good apples. You'll just get crab apples. Well, I don't know. I've never had a crab apple that I didn't like. So let's see. Start a cult. They get all the chicks. Well, hey man, I got this adventure builder cult. Oh no, wait. Just really start a cult. It can't be like all. I have to start some magical beliefs and crazy stuff. Forget. Yeah, man. If you had a partner, your partnership could easily be more powerful, man. The sum of its parts. Yes, that's how I think. Like, if two adventure builders are together and they're working well together, once you get two people meshing together, man, you can do amazing things. Go get it, Jaimie. Best. I think this is when I was talking about girls. Best luck on your search. Oh no, it broke just when you started asking where are all where are all the women who yeah. Simone Gertz, Zyla Foxland, they have their own projects. What does that mean? Who is Simone Gertz and Zyla Foxland? I don't know. Maybe they're amazing girls who are, well, this is, I don't know. Oh, they're already taken anyway. Yes. So there you go. Probably the amazing girls who like love doing stuff and are motivated and are cool to their boyfriends and everything. They're probably mostly already occupied, either by projects or they're with someone and that person is like, I'm not giving up this amazing girl. So yeah, it's probably kind of like winning the lottery, finding one who's single. So I guess you just got to keep looking and then hope for some luck. Why spiders, Bam? What harm do they bring? They spin free you from some flying, biting buggies. Okay, spiders outside my house, totally fine. I don't squish any of them. Spiders inside my house, for a while, I wasn't squishing any of the spiders. I was just like you were thinking. I was like, oh, well, just let them, do their thing. They'll eat all other bugs and stuff. Then one evening, it was in the middle of the night, actually. My kids were sleeping here, and they were just sleeping on mattresses on the floor, which is what I do too. I haven't built beds or anything yet. But I was sleeping, and I heard, which means my son, who's 4, has to go pee. Like when in the middle of the night, if he has to wake up and go pee, which he doesn't usually have to anymore, but once in a while, it's like, I hear that noise. I'm like, okay, I gotta go get him, take him to the potty, make him go pee, take him back to bed. So I go pick up my son. I've got him under my arm, like football. And I'm walking, and I've got a little light in my hand. And I'm walking past my 10-year-old, Bellatrix. And her face is like basically on the floor because she just like moves around when she's sleeping. She's just all over the place. Her face is like off the side of the bed, basically on the floor. And there's a tarantula, like the size of my hand. Maybe not the size of my hand. My hand's pretty big. But the size of her hand, like this far from her face, like walking toward her face. And I'm just like, I've got a kid under my hand. I've got nothing. I've got a flashlight. I'm just like, ah! So I stick the flashlight in this hand and so I smacked it because I was like, dude, I don't want this tarantula walking across my daughter's face in the middle of the night. First, she's going to freak out. Then it's going to freak out and maybe bite her and ah! So after that, I was like, oh, maybe I'm making my house a little bit too friendly to spiders. And they feel a little bit too much like they should come in here. So now when I see spiders, I just smack them. And ever since I started doing that, there are hardly any spiders in here. So I think maybe they've kind of gotten the hint that, hey man, if you go in that big concrete thing, you get smushed, so let's not go in there. But if we stay out here, everything's cool, we can eat all the bugs. So if there's spiders outside, I leave them. But if they come in my house, yeah, smack them, man. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll up to see what I missed. Oh, these are paint markers, not the Sharpies. They use paint that you can buy to refill them up. $15 for 2 of them. They also come with round tips up to 45 degrees. I think the top cap comes up. I don't know if I want that. Paint markers. I feel like if I'm doing paint, I want to use a paintbrush. But I don't know, maybe these paint markers are amazing. See, the thing I really like about the permanent markers is that you can draw the permanent marker on the paper and you can color it with crayon and it doesn't smear the marker. So that's why I definitely want permanent markers. But I don't know, maybe these paint markers are really cool for something too. Hello from Romania. You are a very God motivational man. I'm a very God motivational man. I'm presuming he meant good. Still, that's cool. Oh, where can we find your wish list? I think it's linked. Oh, geez. I had to restart this, so I don't know if it's in here. But hopefully it's in the description of this video is my Amazon wish list. Otherwise, it should be in the description of any of my videos. And yeah, some people have gotten me some really cool stuff off it. Let's see. If you ever do any shady concrete deals, you can do it in your alley. Yeah, if I ever do any shady concrete deals, I can go back in the alley and do it. That's where I go smoke my smokes, right? I don't smoke anything, no. When I bought my house in West Seattle, I built a giant retaining wall around it, and it doubled the space available, engaged columns, curved walls, and inset artwork. Oh, that's cool. I bet that's gorgeous. I want to see that. Nothing with more than 2 eyes should be allowed to live. Oh, I know. I understand the sentiment, but I let the spiders live outside. That's totally fine. Okay, I think I'm caught up with those questions. Maybe you can play with a wind turbine in your alley. I did think about putting a wind turbine in the alleyway, but then it would block it. I really like to keep it clear so, kids can run through and stuff. Although I have been thinking about making a big windmill. I know it's not just a windmill unless I'm milling stuff, but whatever, I'm calling it a windmill, on the other little island, like one of those big Dutch windmills, the big building and thing. Let's see. Oh, he found it in the video description. Excellent. That was the Amazon wish list thing. Yeah, I'm really glad. Whoever asked me to make an Amazon wish list, like I didn't have one before, and he was like, "Hey man, you should just make an Amazon wish list because I don't want to, PayPal you or anything, but I feel like sending you something." So I made an Amazon wish list, and that guy immediately sent me a couple things off it, and now I just keep adding something to it every now and then, and I've gotten some really super cool stuff. So thanks for everyone who's gotten me stuff off the wish list. Let's see, statement. Oh, that's a statement. I'm going to read it anyway. If you have the old paint markers, you might be able to drill a hole in the top and find some sort of rubber plug to cap it. I think it would work as well. A while back, I heard that avocados don't breed true like apples. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I'm hoping I get some kind of good avocados. But like I was saying with the apples, I've never found an apple tree that had apples I didn't like. The cult of the spaghetti monster, I think, is an organization or a recognized religion, and they have no magical beliefs. The spaghetti monster, not a magical belief. I'm not sure I can agree with that. I love the spaghetti monster. It's pretty funny. Hello, Jaimie. I saw this video and thought you might like it. I can just imagine you taking this idea and doing something really awesome with it. I absolutely love your content in your videos. Maybe there was supposed to be a link in there to some other video, but I couldn't click on it right now anyway. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through some stuff here, trying to catch up. Did my explanation of caliper versus micrometer help at all? Okay, micrometer is this one, micrometer, and caliper is this one, right? Is that what I was getting from it? If not, then no. No. Hello from Singapore. You are a very god. Oh, typos are excellent. I am not using Starlink. I'm using whatever we've been using. It's Panama is the company we use for internet. And we actually just increased our bandwidth because another guy is living here and he wanted internet too. So we were like, well, we'll double the thing and just, split it. So I asked him, hey, every Sunday from 11 to 1, one's pretty soon, from 11 to 1, can you not be on the internet? And he's like, yeah, man. So I should be having like double the internet we were having right now if everyone else is staying off it like they said they would. No, they have local microwave director tower. Yeah. Okay, so the way our internet works is Deshana has an antenna that aims at the internet tower that's about 16 miles away. It's pretty far, but we have direct line of sight. It was just total luck that there was nothing between us. And there are lots of stuff almost in the way, but we happen to have direct line of sight right to this tower that's 16 miles away from her house. And then from her house, there is, hold on, one of this. There's one of this up in the ceiling of her house, like right up in the top, aimed roughly in the direction of my house. And I have one of these up in the roof, in the ceiling of my house. Yep, there it is. And it's aiming directly at her house and seems to get internet. And then the other guy who's here at one of our other islands, he has one of these at his island too. And he's getting internet too. So yeah, Deshana gets the main internet and then spits it out at our other islands. Let's see. What did I miss? If you buy stuff off of it, will it make its way to you automatically? Oh, if you buy me stuff off the Amazon wish list, it gets to a guy who brings it to Panama, and then I go get it from him. It's a guy who ships a container down every month, or sometimes 2 every month. But he does like a shared container service thing. So people send stuff to his warehouse in Florida. And once he has like basically a full container, he ships it down to town here, and then people go get it. So yeah, I totally get stuff from, like, I can order stuff in the States and then it can come here. Although there's some kind of instruction if you go to my wish list, and it says something like, oh, I think it just says, send us a message so we know, so we can tell the guy, so we can put it on his little import form. Because, we have to pay for stuff to get shipped here, and there's some stuff has import tax and some stuff doesn't. But it's just part of the cost of being here, which is offset by a lot of lower costs. So it ends up working out fine. And it turns out that it ends up being cheaper often to buy things from the States and get them shipped here than to buy it here. Let's see. What did I miss here? Yeah, so if you buy something off my Amazon wish list, then it makes it here. Yeah, at least everything that people have sent has gotten here so far, except the bowls. Oh, there's some bowls coming. I'm very excited about these bowls. It's like stainless steel bowls, and you can't get good stainless steel bowls here, which is kind of a pain. Like, you can get a big stainless steel bowl, like a mixing bowl, but the metal is so thin that it just starts cracking, and gets that crack down the side that works as it's like good thick stainless steel bowls. That's something that's coming on the next container. I'm very excited about that. Let's see, double the internet. Video doing great this week. It was a little choppy at first, but good now. Deshana also gave me a tip on how to make my video better. Basically, don't move around so much. So if I go like this, it starts getting pixelated and stuff. you know, and I talk with my hands a lot, and I'm very like moving around. So supposedly, if I kind of stay more stationary, then it's the camera and everything doesn't have to keep up with so much stuff. It means this section right here, it can just keep sending the same thing, and that section it can just keep sending the same thing. Yeah. Tomaters was here early. How many people caught the first like 2-minute live I was doing? That was great. I know you don't like naysayers, but I'm scared about the avocados. Oh, I think the avocados are going to work out great. I think, but if they don't, hey. Oh, I've got lychee nuts. What are they called? Rambutans. Does anyone know what lychee nuts or rambutans are? There's a bunch of different names for them. And there's different varieties, like some are actual lychee nuts and some are rambutans or something else. But anyway, I got some of those in town a few weeks ago. And my kids, oh my God, they love those things. And I planted a bunch of the seeds and they're growing. Like a whole bunch of them are growing. I'm getting little rambutan plants and they're delicious. So hopefully those will turn into fruits soon. I'm kind of like just trying to get a lot of fruit trees growing because those are the things that take years. You know, when you're setting up a place that you want to be self-sufficient, it's good to plant stuff that's going to take a long time at the beginning. I was wondering how you got the internet to your island, Jaimie. Thanks for the answer. Got some big blue cats. I have no idea what he's talking about. I think I missed some part of this conversation. If there's anything I missed that I should have heard or pay attention to, or if there's a question I missed, just say it again, somebody, please. Any big, good to hear. Any big catch? Oh, do you ever fish? Yes, I do fish. Actually, I've been fishing kind of more recently because people keep asking me on here and it kept reminding me. And then I was finally like, geez, I need to get out the fish trap. So most of the fishing I do is with a fishing trap. It's just like this PVC pipe thing I made with some mesh around it. I made a video about it a while ago. And it's over at Deshaina's Bay. And it gets fish in it. And as long as I move it around, like if you leave it in the same spot, like the fish kind of get wise to what's going on. But if you move it around now and then, the fish are like, "Ooh, what's this new thing?" And they go in there, and then we can get fish. And we've been eating more fish lately. Now, if the zombie apocalypse happens and we can't go get food at the store, I'm going to be fishing way more. But yeah, I am fishing some. Oh, the other way I fish is I have this thing I made, which is kind of like a giant plastic spool made out of a PVC thing, and it has fishing line wrapped around it, and then a fishing hook and a little piece of like straw on it, which is the lure. Because apparently, just like a piece of straw is perfectly acceptable lure. And while I'm driving around on my boat, I'll throw that and just drag it behind, and like something will come and bite it, and I'll yank it in. It works pretty well. Nice. Niken, Nodge, otherwise known as Nodgekin, as Deshaina says it. If the avocados don't taste good, you can try grafting, so not all is lost. Yes, that is true. If I have avocado trees that make crappy avocados, I can go to that guy who gave us the avocados and say, "Hey man, can I have a little branch?" And get a branch for him, graft it on a thing, and then off that branch at least, I should get the good avocados. But I'm kind of optimistic that I'm going to get some kind of good avocados, so we'll have to see. That pixelation is due to the H.264 standard that sends iframes when there is too much change between frames. Yes, that. Yes, the compression. Man, I'm way behind on these questions, right? I'm trying to keep up. Jaimie is a crazy man, but he is a smart man for sure. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'll try not to be too crazy. We love pixelated potato Jaimo. Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't make the intro to the show, so we're just going to do it right now, even though I'm like an hour into it. 2 hours into it if you count the entire beginning that I missed. Welcome to the Jaimo Show. Welcome to the Jaimo Show. Welcome to the Jaimo Show. If I move too much, I get pixely. That's our intro for today. Is it true it takes 15 years before avocados start giving fruit? Well, I've heard a bunch of different things. Locally, I've heard that it can take as little as 5 years, which I'm very excited about, because I heard 8 years. Like it takes 8 years for an avocado to make fruit in pretty decent conditions. But here, people are like, oh no, they grow fast. Maybe it's the kind of avocados here, or maybe it's just the warm climate or all the rain or whatever. I don't know, but the local people say you'll get avocados in 5 years from your avocado tree. Fewer if you graft. So at some point when my trees get big enough, like maybe in a few years, I will graft a branch on just to get some earlier avocados, or maybe I'll just shut up and be patient. I don't know. Is there a mechanism for removal from the list after someone purchases them so no unwanted duplicates? Okay, so anything I put on my Amazon wish list, I would not mind getting more than one of. But yeah, when someone sends me something off the wish list, it disappears. Or it goes into another category of already bought, which I think then doesn't show up. Well, you can go to another list. Like you can select things that have already been bought. At least I can. Maybe I can only see that. But yeah, if you buy something off the Amazon wish list for me, then it disappears. And there are a few things that I'm like, no, go back, because I need more than one of those. And I do have an option of saying how many I want before it disappears. So maybe I should actually pay attention to that. But you know, all this technology stuff, I'm just like, put it up there and then I forget about it. And I don't know what's going on. Fruit trees. Karina loves fruit trees. So do I. And I love how your hearts are yellow, just like in the Adventure Builder Club. In the Adventure Builders Club, the color for love is yellow. And the symbol for love is a yellow heart, which is very cool. Man, I'm so excited about fruit trees. I do have cocoa plum trees. And right now there's a cocoa plum tree up on top of my house. And yesterday, my 10-year-old daughter went outside and just disappeared for a while. And like if a kid goes outside and doesn't come back in 10 minutes and they didn't tell me where they're going, I go out and check where they are. And she was up on the top of the hill picking cocoa plums off this tree and holding her dress like this, and it was full of cocoa plums. And then she comes back with tons of cocoa plums. And then my almost 12-year-old daughter, my 11-year-old daughter, she went up after, and she had a dress with a big thing, and she went up there and filled that. And she comes back, and it was probably like 3 gallons of these cocoa plums. And there are 2 kinds of cocoa plums that I know of anyway. There's the bigger red ones, which are like a golf ball, and then there's the black ones they look kind of like a fat grape. And the ones on this tree are the grape ones, the black ones. I also have trees with the red ones, but they're not out right now. So just imagine like 3 gallons of like basically grape-sized plum things. So I have tons of them, and my daughter told me there's probably 5 times that much up there right now. So I'm thinking maybe I should go up there and get a whole bunch and try to make jam or something. I mean, my kids also ate a ton of them, and I ate a bunch of them too. But apparently there are a lot. So maybe I should do something with them. Let's see. I was watching the first session in amazement, very proud. You went to make sure everybody was okay. Oh yeah, of course I went to make sure it was okay. And I did not strangle Deshana when I saw her and everything was fine, which I thought was some pretty good restraint. No, I'm not actually a psycho. I wouldn't actually strangle her, but yeah, I gave her some crap for it. But everything is fine, don't worry. Have you heard of Blue Origin? Is that the penis spaceship? That's the penis spaceship, isn't it? I don't know. I think the cat's comment was about fishing. Catfish. Oh, there are catfish. At least I've caught something that looked like a catfish, although it was kind of small, so I threw it back. But it looked like a catfish with like really long whiskers, like a Fu Manchu mustache almost, you know. Oh, what was the citizenship process like? Well, I don't actually have citizenship here. I just have permanent residency, which is, I mean, it's good enough, and you know, we don't have to leave ever. Now, in Panama, one good thing about getting permanent residency is you don't have to renew it. You just get it, and that's it. when I moved to the United States and I got a green card there, that was a huge ordeal to get. Oh my God, it was just like jumping through hoops and hoops. And then you get it and you have to renew it like every 10 years, I think. Pain in the butt. Here, it was much easier to do, like way easier than getting a green card in the States. And you get it permanently for the rest of your life. You know, you don't have to keep renewing it, from what I understand. At least I hope that's the case, because I'm not planning on renewing it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just get it and that's it. And the process wasn't difficult. I mean, it was annoying because we had to go to like all the way to Panama City, which is like at the other end of the country. So, you know, it was irritating and annoying. We had to do that, and then we also had to go to David, which is on the Pacific side of the country. That wasn't too far. We just took a bus over there. But yeah, it was not a horrible process. And I don't know what the visa, or I don't know what the requirements are right now, but they keep changing. But from what I understand is it's not that difficult to get residency. When we got it, we qualified pretty easily just because we were from friendly countries. So yeah, it's just an annoying process and wasn't difficult. Oh, it probably cost us about $10,000 though to permanent residency the entire family, and that was including like traveling to, you know, to Panama City and then to David and you know, all the paperwork and, you know, 4,000 photocopies of something, and then we had a lawyer do it, so I had to pay him too. So yeah, it was about $10,000 to get the whole family done in the end, and it could have definitely been less. But I don't speak Spanish well enough to trust myself to do the whole process on my own, which is why we hired a lawyer to do it. So the fish trap is awesome. The fish trap is awesome. Oh, I love the fish trap. Oh, Blue Oregon catfish. That's what he's talking about. Not Blue Origin. That was a typo. Blue Oregon catfish. I don't know what those are. But the fish trap is awesome. I really love the fish trap. And yes, I fish with a hand reel. I learned when I was in the Bahamas. The year before we moved to Panama, we spent like 3 months in the Bahamas. And there was a guy there that I hung out with a lot. Why are you reconnecting? Okay, for some reason I got disconnected there for a minute. And I decided to get up and stretch my legs. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, when I was in the Bahamas, I learned to fish from this guy I hung out with a lot. And there's videos of him from when I was in the Bahamas, and he was like, yeah, you just take a fishing line and wrap it around a bottle, and you just throw the line. You don't have to carry around this big fishing pole and all that crap. So I really like that method much more. What kind of fish do you catch? Well, my favorite fish that I've caught here is Spanish mackerel. Ooh, delicious. But we've also had grouper, grunts, some kind of, what do they call it? Snapper, like red snapper maybe? Some of the fish, I don't know what their names are. But yeah, I would say mostly snapper. And, well, mostly snapper is what we get in the fish trap. One time I caught a hogfish. Hogfish are delicious. And if I'm dragging a line, the most common fish to catch is barracuda, which aren't bad, not as good as Spanish mackerel, but they're all right. And then we've also, like, you know, we'll catch different stuff in the fishing trap too. So sometimes there'll be crabs or snails and stuff like that, you know, like big snails, not big like a conch, but you know, like fist-sized snails. And Deshane has cooked those a bunch of times. So we've, you know, eaten a variety of stuff. Wish I could post pictures on this live chat. Why can't you post pictures on this live chat? That would be cool. Is there a way to do that? All the zombie talk is crazy, in my opinion. You know, if there was a zombie apocalypse, that would probably be the best way for like a civilization to fall. Like, it would solve a lot of problems. Like if it was like, instead of just a slow decline, just like zombies. Oh, and then anyway, that's a whole set of ridiculous I'm not going to get into. How do you monitor your caloric and nutrient intake? Very good question. Okay, I go like this. Oh man, I'm hungry. And then I go eat some food. And when I've eaten a bunch of food and I'm so full, I'm gonna explode. Then I go do some stuff. And then at some point I'm like, well, I'm getting kind of hungry. I'm gonna have to stop doing stuff in a little bit. What time is it? Well, it's like 2 in the afternoon. All right, I'm just gonna keep going until dinner time. And I'm gonna be really hungry then, but I'm just gonna eat a lot of food. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that's basically all I do. I don't really keep track or anything. When I used to, yeah, I don't really keep track. Every once in a while, I will, kind of calculate, estimate how many calories I ate in a day, just for kind of trivial reasons. But for the most part, I just eat whenever I'm hungry and work whenever I can. And I do often, when I'm working on stuff, like I won't eat for a while because I'm just like totally engrossed in what I'm doing. And actually that was one of the cool things about having like a cool girlfriend in the past. There have been times when I had cool girlfriends in the past who would just like be like, oh, Jamie's working on something and he's not gonna come free. And then they would like bring me some food and bring me some sandwich or something and be like, here, eat this. And I'd just be like, and then keep working. That was amazing. But yeah, often I just skip meals and just keep working. And then at the end of the day, I'll eat till I'm full, but my body is still like, I'm still hungry. Give me more food, but I'm just out of space. So then, not outer space, I'm out of space. But then I'll wake up at like 2 in the morning and have some cereal or something. But in terms of nutrients, I don't really worry about making sure I get the right nutrients that much, partly because of the amount I eat. I eat a lot of food. And I don't eat like junk food, candy or anything like that. So I should be getting all the nutrition I need, theoretically, just because I'm, I stay away from sugar stuff, and just I eat a lot. The only food that I can think of off the top of my head that I really pay attention to is bananas. Because if I eat a lot of bananas, I get real sleepy. And I think it's because bananas lower your blood pressure. And I have kind of low blood pressure anyway. I mean, not low blood pressure like it's a problem or anything, but lowish blood pressure. So if I eat a lot of bananas, then I start getting real drowsy. But other than that, I just eat lots of stuff. Let's see. Oh, fact. That might be fake. As far as I believe I know, a tree from seed takes to wait. As far as I believe I know, a tree from seed takes to mature. Oh, I must have missed part of this. When you graft the trees is ideal. Well, grafting the trees is not ideal because that's an extra step. So if I can get good avocados just from a tree, like straight up, that's my preference. Like I would rather not have to rely on grafting. But if I do have to, fine. But I'm gonna try not graft first. I suggested they someday allow us to post pics and videos on the live stream. That would be cool. Well, videos would be hard to post on a live stream. You'd have to no, I guess you could do it if you posted a video on the live stream and then it would come up here and I'd have to be able to control when it starts. Like it couldn't just start going and interrupt. Like it would have to pop up and I'd be like, okay, here's a video from Schmuckety Schmook, and then I could play it. But pictures, yeah, you should be able to just throw a picture up in the little chat thing. That wouldn't be a problem, right? Except then people would start putting up inappropriate pictures and they would just ruin it for everyone. That's why we can't have good things. About 20 years ago, I was visiting a friend in California. I was also visiting a friend in California about 20 years ago. It was the only time I was in California. Spent a few months there. Her neighbors, I also visited a girl. Her neighbors grew avocados commercially, and they were twice the size and flavor of the Haas ones. Oh, yeah. So I actually visited a girl who lived on a walnut farm in California, and that was amazing. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and man, anything you can grow yourself is always going to be better than what you get in the store. Lychees are awesome. Yes, lychee nuts are amazing. And now I'm wondering, how far behind am I on these comments? Because I'm scrolling down and answering them as I go, and I haven't gotten to the end in a while. Let's see. I will buy you 2 of those reusable paint markers. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I am sure I will come up with something amazing to do with them. That is super cool. Thank you. Can anyone tell me how to reply to comments on here? I don't know. I don't even, someone can probably tell you. There is no reply function. Oh, just type @ and the name of the person you're replying to. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Oh, Will Darling has a question. Can you make a full functioning Lego version of your roller? What is my roller? It is so interesting. It would be good to be able to get my head around how it works. Are you talking about not the roller, the spider tank? Or what is my roller? Lego, let's see. Probably the answer is yes. Emailed jelly fruit tree detail. Ooh, jelly fruit tree. Yes. Pindo palm. Jelly fruit tree. Yes, I want that, whatever it is. I'm always trying to get more kinds of fruit trees, from people around. Any suggestions? I really want to get some nut trees. There's a Malabar chestnut tree supposedly will grow here. And I don't know, there's some other kinds of nut trees. I don't have any nut trees. I really like nuts because, I guess maybe because I'm a little bit nuts. I also love peanut butter. And if I could get chestnuts and roast them and turn them into, chestnut butter, then I wouldn't have to buy peanuts. Oh, that would be so amazing. Let's see. I'm trying to go through this a little faster. I work at Blue Origin, but not on the penis spaceship. So it is the Blue Origin does have the penis spaceship. That's pretty funny. I honestly, people kind of hold it against them a little bit that their spaceship looks like a penis. If I were to make a rocket and it looked kind of like a penis, I would be like, oh well, we might as well just penis it up, like make it really look like a penis. Why not? That would be hilarious. You don't have to take away from the operational functionability of the thing or anything, but come on, we've got a sense of humor. Let's have fun while we're doing this work. That must be cool working at Blue Origin on space stuff. Let's see. Oh, trying to explain the difference between calipers and micrometers, and it's not going well. LOL. Okay, I guess I'm just going to have to look it up. The difference between calipers and micrometers. So what citizenship do the children have? 2 of my kids are Americans, and then 2 are Panamanian, because they were born here. Although I think any of them can get citizenship in Canada, because I'm Canadian, or the United States, because Deshane is Canadian. So, oh, someone put at Jaimie Mansell. So apparently you can reply to me. Do you plan to bring electric bulldozer to your island? That was one of my favorite builds of yours, and we never see it anymore these days. Yes, I totally plan to bring it here. I think I was talking about this last week or the week before. I'm going to have to take it apart to get it off Deshane's island at this point, because I can't drive it out. There's too much stuff in the way. So I'm thinking I'm going to take it apart, bring all the pieces here, and it's all bolted together. So when I made it, I specifically made it so I could dismantle the whole thing and put it all back together. But I'm thinking when I get it here, I might want to put it together not as a bulldozer, and maybe as a front end loader and a little dump in the back or something. Make some kind of variation that's going to be more useful here for what I'm doing now. Because at the time, I had to flatten out a huge amount of dirt that basically was just pushing the dirt. So a little bulldozer that would just push was perfect for that. But here, I think it would be more useful to have like a scoop in the front, because if I was going to use it for the digging I'm doing now, it's not digging where I can just push the dirt. It's more like I'd have to scoop it up, back up, turn the other way, go down a thing, and then maybe I would just want to make a dump truck, because then I could. A lot of what I'm doing now is just moving things. I don't know. There are a lot of options, a lot of things I could do with it, but I really do love the solar bulldozer, and I'm excited to get it over here and do something with it. Oh no, I froze again? Oh good. Northern Island Boy seconds, more solar dozer footage. Yeah, I'm gonna get that over here hopefully soon. Did I see what fell? No, I didn't see what fell. We could go out and look, but I have no idea where it is or what it is. Okay. Calipers look like a small monkey wrench. Yeah. Micrometers look like a C-clamp with a handle. Oh, a micrometer thing is this. Right. And calipers is this. Right. I think. Yeah. Let's see. Can I see your outside roof? I like the way it looks. You know what? Let's go outside. I've been doing this for a while. If I screw up my connection now. Okay, just to preemptively say, if I screw everything up, sorry. And I've been on here for a while, so it's probably okay if I get cut off. But man, I love this ceiling. Look how cool that is. I know it's got a lot of scaffolding and stuff. And that little white thing right there, that's the internet thing that's aiming at Deshaina's house. Okay, I'm going to give you my view. Let's go out the front door. And it's raining. So maybe we won't go. Well, it's just sprinkling. Maybe I can. Do we go up the path? Let's go up this way. I'm trying to stay within range of the internet thingy. So here's the outside of the roof. Let's see what I can see. Yeah, it's going pretty well. I only have 2 more panels to do at that level there, and then I'll have to make my Captain Insano suicide ladder 1 level higher to get up to the next spot. And this is my door to get in and out. It's not really even a door, it's just kind of tied on from the inside. All right, let's go inside. Hopefully I didn't lose signal during this. Just try not to fall at the moment. All right. Oh, I didn't see what fell when I was out there.
Hey, Jaimie, you have to stop moving long enough to
Deshaina's just, apparently she's watching this, and she just told me I have to stop moving long enough for people to see the roof. Oh, all right. I'll do it again. Hold on. This time, I'm gonna run up, so the video is gonna get really crappy for like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, maybe 6 seconds. Okay. Nah. I did go back outside. Deshaina's talking to me on the radio right now. Can you see the roof now? Hopefully that's coming through. If not, maybe the signal isn't strong enough out here, but I'm not sure. Hopefully that worked. And if it didn't, I'll just make sure I get some video of the roof. Oh. Deshane is telling me on the walkie-talkie that I should stay out there for 2 or 3 minutes aiming at the roof, except it's raining out and I don't want this to get wet. So maybe we'll have to do that another day. All right, what did I miss? Spaghetti. Oh, you guys are having spaghetti? Hogfish are easy to shoot, yeah. So hogfish are this like big, like not fat, like skinny, tall fish. It's like they're so easy to zap with a spear. Let's see, what did I miss? All right, hopefully everyone saw the roof a little bit, and that worked well. We would send Jay links to our pics and videos, then he could, yeah, if you want to email me pictures or videos, I'd love to see some stuff. That's cool. Northern Island boy, people suck. That is often true. Wait, you can if you do as a share screen. Does that mean I can oh, I'm not going to do share screen. This is the first time I got this live thing to work. I'm not going to get too complicated. Let's see. Question. I was talking about solar dozer. What was the question? Lego dozer? Oh, make a Lego dozer. Oh, not roller. Silly autocorrect. So can I make a Lego bulldozer that had like the whole transmission working and everything? I think I could actually. Like the chain just has to flex a little bit to go sideways. And as long as I make it big enough that the chain could bend, you know.
No, you can't do it in the middle of a live. You have to start a live out as a share screen. I showed you this the other day.
Okay, in that case, we won't worry about that right now. We'll do it another time or something.
Anyway, I'm going off the live. I just popped in to tell you that we were going to eat spaghetti.
Okay, go eat spaghetti. Over and out. Oh, God. I think it's so fuzzy. All right. Oh, link for Amazon gift list. There should be a link to it in the description of this or in the description of any of my videos, I think. But yeah, maybe I should make a Lego version of the solar dozer. My kids would love that. My dad bought 2 grafted avocado trees. It had avocados right away. They were real good. Yeah, but he bought the tree already. So that is cool. Yeah, when my trees get big enough to graft, I might have to do one just to get early avocados. Yeah, Deshana says that in the description is my Amazon wish list, which also has a link to my PayPal, my Bitcoin thingy, whatever you call it. Every once in a while, someone sends me a little bit of Bitcoin, which is cool because there's some things you can use it for online to order things. And then what do I have? Patreon too. Patreon did some funny thing recently, and a bunch of people left, and they were saying that Patreon messed something up. I don't know. Let's see. Where are we? Grafting is not that difficult. You can graft multiple varieties to the same tree. Yeah, you can get really. You know what? Now I'm wondering what I could graft onto a cocoa plum tree. Because I have lots of cocoa plum trees at the top of the island that grow these cocoa plums, which aren't the greatest fruit in the world. They're all right, but now I'm wondering maybe I can graft some other cool things onto there. Let's see, a micrometer is 1/1000th of a meter, and a caliper is 446 thousandths. Is that it? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Shana linked my wish list there. Dump truck. Look up the DK Power Big Dump Electric Wheelbarrow. You could model part of it on that. Maybe. I'll have to remember that. I'm totally not going to remember that, am I? Let's see. DK Power. Maybe I might be able to remember that. Oh, I'd suggest being careful Googling big dump. That is true. I should be very careful Googling big dump. Biscotti time. Calipers are for rough measurements and micrometers are for accurate measurements. Let's see. Your answer to my bulldozer question sounds like the ultimate real-life erector set. Need a new piece of equipment? Just put the pieces together differently. Yeah. When I was building the bulldozer, I was totally thinking about that. I was like, you know, I could rivet this, weld this, bend parts. I was like, no. Just bolt everything together with lots of bolts and put lots of holes. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up to the bottom of the thing. He's running because of a creeper, really. Yeah, there's a creeper on my island. One really cool thing about living on an island out in the ocean is that creepers don't show up. Like, I don't think I've had a single uninvited guest. This isn't a challenge. I'm not saying someone should do this, but I haven't had any people just show up here. All right, Matt's awesome stuff says the roof looked good. We got enough of a peek. Good. You got a peek of the roof. Let's see. Peak joke was great. You know, the peak joke is funny to me because years ago, I made a video that was called Sneak Peek at this toy I made. And peek was spelled P-E-A-K, not peek. Like, it was supposed to be a sneak peek, like looking, but I spelled it wrong. And usually when I make a typo and I spell something wrong and I notice it, I just leave it because I think it's funny. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving today. Oh, Matt's awesome stuff. So you're a Canadian. I recently enraged some Canadians because I said something about Canada being a communist country. Well, it's from by my standards, it's a communist country, but a lot of countries are. But yeah, some people got very angry about that. But I don't know. Maybe you should just relax, man. But yes, happy Thanksgiving to you too. I guess I should have some extra food today. Jaimie, Shana is supposed to take pics of your busted DeWalt flex bolts for me. I've taken hundreds of them. I've taken apart hundreds of them, and it's usually only a few easy things to do to fix them. Really? Because like I'm pretty sure the BMS is probably fried, but I don't know. Oh, Deshana said she did ask me. Yeah, I guess I've just got a lot of things going on. See, this is why I need a girlfriend who can help me with some of this stuff, help me catch up, because I'm just like doing everything by myself. I guess I'm a little bit envious of couples who are doing the off-grid thing together, and can actually work together, because that's got to be super cool. You have been given your walking orders. Go eat spaghetti. Do it now or pay later. I don't have spaghetti here. Okay, yeah, Deshana, you go eat spaghetti. I wish I could radio into live streams. Maybe you should take donations for walkie-talkie access. Well, like, where are you gonna walkie-talkie from? Like, how would you access my walkie-talkie? You have a ham radio? Maybe I should get a ham radio and we could talk to people, but I don't know how far those will actually work. You need to update the wish list. The top 2 batteries are unavailable. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I do need to update the. Okay, as soon as I get off this, I'm going to update the Amazon wish list. So, okay, give me 4.5 seconds, and I'm going to go get something. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, that was like totally 4.5 seconds, right? Counting real slow. So I have some circular saws, right? And I had two like the light duty ones, and one of them broke. And someone sent me this one, which is like a super heavy duty one, except it only takes the 60-volt batteries, not the 20-volt batteries. So it needs the actual 60-volt ones, which are the bigger batteries. And out of all the batteries that I only have one that is 60-volt, and it's like the small version, which won't really run this very much. So I added two of the bigger batteries that would fit this, that's the right size and everything, and the voltage. And now someone has just told me they're unavailable. So great. I need to fix that, because that would be nice to have a circular saw going again. The electric wheelbarrow. About grafting, I saw this cool experiment where someone grafted potato with tomato. I've heard of that too. Then he got fries and ketchup out of one plant. Oh, you're so right. That's almost like making a pizza plant, like fries and ketchup out of the same plant. One problem here is that normal potatoes don't grow here. And I did a minor bit of investigation. Sweet potatoes grow here, and they grow here very well. I have some growing. But I don't think tomatoes will graft onto a sweet potato plant. So that means I can't do it. It's very disappointing. There is, however, a tomato tree. I really want to grow one of these tomato trees. Tomatoes also don't grow here very well. I think it's too wet. I'm still going to try. I still plant them every now and then. And anyway, I'm going to see if I can get them going. Oh, just about to put the turkey in the oven. Oh my God, turkey dinner would be that sounds so amazing. Frederick Brincat agrees that the majority of the world is communist by his standards as well. So I'm not the only crazy one out there. You can run it without a BMS, rip it out, it's fine. So, okay, if I have one of those DeWalt, the lithium-ion batteries, and I run it without the BMS, will it also charge? Maybe I just need to ask you some of these questions in a separate thing. Will it let it charge if I pull the BMS out and something? And then how concerned do I have to be about the batteries getting unbalanced, or is it like the kind of thing where it's not going to happen for so long, just don't worry about it? Because like I've run electric vehicles, like an electric boat, without a BMS and lithium-ion batteries for like years, and it was fine. Although eventually I did have a battery melt, but it took years. How do you try meeting people? Oh, how do I try meeting people? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Online or in person around where you live? Well, online is one way to meet people. So I guess this is a big question always, is like how the stuff do you meet people, like particularly girls, or unless you're a girl, then boys. But in my case, it would be girls. So how do you meet girls when you live off grid? Well, yes, one way is online, and online dating thing. I don't know. It's never. I guess it's a very what's the word? It doesn't work that well. Yeah, it doesn't work that well. At least I've never had any significant fruit come from meeting people online. I mean, I've met some people who were friends. I actually met Deshana online, but that was through a friend that I knew in real life. So I don't know if that counts. But anyway, also whenever I go to town, like that's kind of my chance to meet people, to meet someone. So the silly thing about that though is if I go to town thinking, oh, I gotta like kind of pay attention, and if I see a girl, talk to her. I never meet anyone when that happens. It's always like if I go to town and I'm not thinking about it at all, like I'll be at the empanada stand. This happened once, I don't know, a couple years ago. I was at the empanada stand buying empanadas, and this very pretty girl comes up to me and is like asking me about the empanadas. And I answer her questions, and I was like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. We had a very nice conversation, and then I left, and I was like, why was she even asking me those questions? And then I was like, oh, she was like hitting on me, and I was just like answered her questions very politely and left like an idiot. You know, and I just didn't occur to me that she was like, you know, interested. And another time I was in town. I had my wheelbarrow full of groceries because I usually go grocery shopping with my wheelbarrow, and because it's just so much faster to do one trip all around town and get everything I need. So I just take my wheelbarrow and go everywhere instead of carrying everything. So my wheelbarrow's full of groceries, and I stopped at this little vegetable stand, and this girl comes up and she's like, oh, where did you find dried garbanzo beans? I can't find them anywhere. And I was like, oh, they were at this grocery store here. It's just down the street and there. And then we talked for a couple minutes, and I was like, oh, I got to get going so I can blah, blah, blah. And then on the way out, I'm like, oh, she was like, she didn't really need to know where that stuff was. Oh, I'm kind of an idiot. At least in that case, I did end up having a conversation with her a little bit before I just left without even thinking, like, maybe I should be hitting on this girl. So anyway, I think now I'm kind of more tuned into that a little bit more. So if some girl comes up to me and says, hey, how you doing? I've got a totally pointless question to ask you just to start a conversation. Hopefully I'll, you know, be aware enough to respond. Also, you know, I don't know, it's really hard to approach a girl just like cold as a guy, because girls are very defensive about that, because it's always like, who are you? Why are you coming at me? What is going on? So it's much easier to talk to a girl if you're like in some kind of event, like when like after university. Obviously, when you're at school or something, there's girls all over the place and tons of excuses to talk to them. But then after school, I was in a track club, and that was a great place to meet girls. They were all in shape and good looking and stuff, and I had reasons to talk to them. And then, you know, once I have a reason to start a conversation with the girl, I generally do fine. But here, I'm not part of any clubs or anything or whatever, so yeah, it's kind of harder to just like say, hi, I have no reason to talk to you at all other than you're pretty and I want to see if maybe we might like each other. And then, I don't know, maybe I just need to start doing that. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of times some girls can be like, go away, you weird pervert. And then I'll just have to be like, well, I guess I was a creep that time, and I'll just try again, whatever. I don't know. Did that answer the question? Totally answered the question, right? Sweet potatoes aren't nightshades. Sweet potatoes keep so much longer than regular ones. You know what else is nice about sweet potatoes? Sweet potatoes are so delicious. Like, I don't even need ketchup. Not that I need ketchup with normal potatoes, like fries and stuff. But like sweet potatoes, I like need it even less, because they're so delicious. Is this guy homeless? You talking about me? Like, what am I mean, this, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, he is sitting. I am actually sitting in my house. Yes. He is the polar opposite of homeless. Yes, I am kind of the polar opposite of homeless. Yeah, I like have my own home and I own it. It's huge. I own my own island. I have a couple houses actually that people are living in right now. Running a tool without a BMS is mostly dangerous for the battery. Charging lithium batteries without a BMS is crazy stupid. Those things blow up like crazy. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So this guy just happened upon this video while scrolling through videos about homeless encampments. All right, for Graham Wright, who's just shown up and doesn't know what's going on. So I'm just this guy who moved to an island in the Caribbean. So I'm on an island right now, out in the ocean, and I've built what I call the Cathedral. And let's take a little look at what we've got here. I'm still under construction, but here's the first story. This is my bathroom, right back here. Oh, wait, my kitchen's cool. Where's my kitchen? Oh yeah, my kitchen's back there. Right over there. Oh yeah. Anyway, the second floor is up there. There's no actual floor yet. I still have to build that. And then the third floor, see that kind of, all those joists in the scaffolding? That's where the third floor goes. And that's going to be a gymnasium. And there's space for a fourth floor up there. But I'm going to not put a fourth floor. I'm just going to have a really high ceiling in the third floor so it can be a gymnasium. And I can, do gymnastics, because one of my neighbors is a gymnastics coach. So I'm going to get my kids all into gymnastics. And it'll have a high enough ceiling to play basketball and volleyball and have a trampoline up there. And the floor is like 41, well, the building's 41 feet across, like 13-ish meters. So there's plenty of space to, play sports and stuff up there. We can even play Frisbee up there and stuff. And yeah, I build inventions, and all my boats are solar and human power. So I have pedal boats with like solar panels and motors to help out with my pedaling and stuff. And I'm growing food here. And I have a pile of kids, and I'm working on being self-sufficient, just in case the zombie apocalypse comes, then I'll be all right. Not just because of that. I also think it's a really, really fun and rewarding lifestyle. I love it. Because I want to have the freedom to do the stuff I want to do and build what I want to build and do what I want to do and wake up in the morning and think, all right, what's the best thing I can do today? As opposed to, oh, what do I have to do now? I have to go to this job I hate, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, for this new guy, that's basically what's going on. I don't know. I do think, so he said he came here after looking for homeless encampments. I do think there is some connection between, living off grid and a homeless encampment. There are some similarities, but yeah, I'm definitely way past the point of homeless encampment. I feel like it's easiest to be charming when you don't try to be charming because you don't know someone is interested in you. Haha. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing about talking to girls, like trying to meet girls. And I wish more women understood this, because I think it would help a lot of women avoid the wrong guys. So as a guy, if there are any women watching this, all the guys already know this. So any women watching this, if a guy tries to talk to you and he says all the right stuff and he knows what he's doing, he's all slick and he's got it all nailed down, he's probably not that interested. He's probably either playing you, just trying to get in pants. He's not thinking like long term or anything. He's just having fun, and he's just kind of playing around. Probably a player. Because as a guy, I will tell you, it is so easy to talk to a girl you're not interested in. Now, if a guy talks to you and he's just like, that guy's interested in you. Because his brain is thinking like, oh, this girl could be the future mother of my children. Oh my gosh, she might be really, I'm like, he's thinking like long term, and like this is really important, and his head is like off on this thing, and he's like, no, come back, I gotta say something, or else I'm gonna seem like an idiot. And then he walks into a fire pole or something, or hits his head on a wall, and is like, doesn't know what to say or do. That's the guy who's actually interested. But that's the guy you're always turning away and wondering, where are all the nice guys? The nice guy who's interested in you is the one who like fell down the stairs while he was trying to talk to you, or spilled his drink all over himself because he was nervous and like he really cared and it mattered. That's the guy who's interested in you. It's so easy to talk to a girl when you don't care about her. And it's way harder to talk to a girl when you do care about her. Oh, not counting the houseboat homes. At the 10-year anniversary, this guy has the hottest girl in school come up to him and tell him, so did you know back in high school I always wanted you to kiss me? And he was oblivious. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes often. I haven't had that exact experience, but I've had experiences where, like in high school, like years after high school, when I went back to visit, I was meeting people I knew back in high school, like there were girls who were like, I had such a huge crush on you. Did you know that? And I was like, what? No, I had no clue. You were always kind of mean to me. And then she's like, well, that's what girls do. They're kind of mean to you when they like you. And I'm just like, well, I know that, but still, when it happens, it doesn't feel like it's right. I don't know. Jaimie, seems hard to believe there aren't some prepper girls out there that would not like to visit visit your island of love. Yeah, I mean, maybe there are. If there's a cute girl out there, you don't have to think you're cute, out there who like wants to hang out, send me an email, say hi. I would love to. Even if we don't click, maybe we can learn something from each other and talk. But I would love to meet someone. Anyway, let's see. Oh, make sure you always wear your Adventure Builder shirt in town. Then it can easily come up in conversation. Well, the thing is, like, most people have no idea what an Adventure Builder shirt is. So they just think it's just some weird shirt and don't ask about it. Plus, I don't know, I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. I do actually usually wear an Adventure Builder shirt, and I have a big Adventure Builder symbol on my boat. And one of the reasons I do that is because I kind of want it to become known that anything with that symbol on it is like part of some guy's thing, so that if at some point my boat is stolen, or something is stolen of mine that has an Adventure Builder symbol on it, it will be very difficult to sell or do anything with or whatever, because everyone's going to be like, oh, I know who that is. That's this guy's. Cocoa plum seed inside the blah are supposedly edible and also a good source of oil. Oh, I didn't know that part. Thus, you might be able to make nut butter. Well, okay, the cocoa plums, I have dried out the seed and cracked them open and then roasted the nut inside, and it is delicious. It's a little bitter when you eat it raw, but if you saute it a little in a little bit of oil and a bit of salt, ooh, really good, delicious. And yes, I think they probably would make pretty good butter if you grind them up. So I was thinking about going up and getting a bunch of those cocoa plums. It's just these ones are the small ones, so I have to get a lot because the seed inside is smaller. The red ones that are bigger, they have a much bigger seed. But still, I mean, it's just more work. I did not know that they were a good source of oil, though, which makes me think even more they would make good nut butter. So yeah, maybe I should do that this week. I don't know. I still feel like I'm trying to catch up, with the last 2 weeks of helping other people with all this stuff, and then bringing a whole workshop into my house. I still have some stuff to put away, but I am starting to catch up on all that, so that's good. Let's see. Jaimie owns his island, so he makes all the zoning, laws, and construction rules. It's nice to be the king. Yeah, it is nice to be king. Question. Okay. Do you know the frequency that your internet runs on? What frequency is transmitted to the main tower? I don't know. I don't know what the frequencies are. I know that mine is almost always turned off. Like I only turn it on when I'm using it. So that's all I know. I don't actually know what frequency it is. The buffering started to get painful. Sorry. I think wearing the adventure shirt in town is a great idea. Well, Karina is a girl, so if you have advice for me on how to meet women, I am all for it. I will make sure I always wear an Adventure Builder shirt to town. Definitely that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I got down to the bottom of my comments finally. That's cool. Make new shirts, one for each of the virtues. Those are more likely to prompt comments. Actually, I do have shirts that have the virtues on them and stuff, but I can't think of any time anyone has ever like brought up a conversation because of that. There is a shirt I used to have that I thought would be great for meeting girls, and it was a bright yellow shirt, and it was one that I painted myself. And it said, void warranty if removed. And it had like a sticker kind of at an angle, like those void warranty if removed stickers that come on products. And I was just thinking like, well, that's the perfect excuse for some young lady to come up to me and say, hey, can I void your warranty? And it would be funny and it would break the ice. But no one ever did it. Maybe I should remake avoid warranty if removed shirt and start wearing that around. Definitely opens conversations. I say try it and see how it goes. Karina, I will wear Adventure Builder shirts to town more often. Well, I think I usually do anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna make sure I do. So I think I've actually gotten to the bottom of the comments for the first time in like, I don't know, been going for a while here. All right, maybe I should shut up and go do some stuff. What am I gonna do today? I might go up to the roof. Oh no, it's too sunny now to work on the roof. You know what? I think I'm gonna clean up the rest of the stuff that's on the floor. Here, I'll show you how much is left of all that stuff from my workshop I brought here. So last week I showed my bulldozer was full of wires. Right now it's, well, it was empty, but then this styrofoam thing goes somewhere else. But the wires are almost all put away. And over here, there were like, I don't know, a dozen different buckets of different stuff. I'm down to two left. So I only have 2 more buckets to go through and organize and put away. And it looks like one is just totally full of nails, and the other one is totally full of bolts. And they're both pretty rusty, which is unfortunate, but still usable. So maybe I'll make those. Maybe I'll offer those to my friends. Ask them if they need any rusty nails, because I don't want to store a bunch of rusty nails forever. If anyone has a use for them, like a temporary outside use or whatever, I'll just use them. Yeah, so I think I'll clean up some stuff, and maybe I'll shut up now. And I think this went pretty well this week. I actually figured out how to push the right buttons to make this thing work, and I only got disconnected a few times. So I guess I have to do an outro now. Go away from the Jaimo show, go away from the Jaimo show, go away from the Jaimo show, but don't slam the door on your way out. Go away from the Jaimo show, everything's cool. And thanks for everyone for being here, and thanks for your excellent questions, and thanks for your important information and tips too. Oh yeah, so I need to add that thing to my Amazon wish list. And there were a couple other things I needed to look up. There was a jelly fruit tree. Someone sent me an email about that. Okay, I'm gonna go check that out and add the thing to my Amazon wish list. And I hope everyone has a marvelous day. And I hear it's Thanksgiving in Canada. So anyone who's having Thanksgiving in Canada, have some turkey for me. Not too much though. You don't need to blow your pants out. But okay, goodbye everyone, and have a marvelous day.